I'm bisexual, but I'm only bisexual because I lost my virginity to a gay guy, and that is how it spreads. So. The more you know, you know. I feel like I should have known he was gay, because every time I asked him to go down on me, he was like, "Yas, queen." He was like, "Pop off, girl, demand it." I was like, "You know what? I will, Nick." Get down there, my guy. Get down there, my guy. You know, I also feel like I should have known he was gay because he could only finish in doggy style. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Yeah. Men always get real quiet during that one. And to that I say, look, I don't know if you're gay, if you can only finish in doggy style. I don't know. I've never watched gay male porn, you know, but I have watched football. The sexual tension in that game is crazy, okay? These guys are slapping each other's asses, pouring water on top of each other, and the coach is like taking his clothes off when he's mad at the ref. I'm at home, I'm like, fucking kiss. Like, that's how I watch football. I'm like, kiss. I don't know what that says about my sexuality. But it keeps it exciting, I think. I don't know. I am bisexual. It's kind of hard being bisexual, I think. It's really confusing, you know, because you have to like code switch a lot, you know. You don't know who you are a lot of the time. So I do this thing personally where I keep it simple, okay? I'm straight in the summer, gay in the winter. Anyone else seasonally gay? Anybody? No? Okay. Just me? Cool. Homophobic. Okay. No, I am seasonally gay. It just keeps it simple. Straight summer, gay winter, and in the spring I break. Just kind of like Jesus, but in a different way. You know, like it always happens the same way, you know, like it starts to get hot outside, you know, like I get dehydrated, I have a panic attack, like I fuck a guy, I get an abortion. It always, uh-oh, pro-lifer in the crowd. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm just kidding. I don't get an abortion every year. That would be crazy. That would be crazy. Just on leap year, am I right? No. I've never gotten an abortion, but if I needed to, I would. If I needed to get an abortion, I would get one in a heartbeat. I would get one in a baby's heartbeat. Sorry! Get out of here, you're not paying rent. Hi-yo. I do forget what having sex with guys is like sometimes, because I go like long periods without it, you know? I always forget what guys are like in bed, you know? They always say like the weirdest things. They always say the weirdest things. Like one time I was having sex with this guy and he said the weirdest thing to me. He was like, "Look me in the eyes." He was like, "Call me baby." I was like, "Shut the fuck up, Brian." I was like, "Shut the fuck up and fuck me like a man." You know, and that's when I realized, like, I am a power bottom. If you don't know what a power bottom is, it's when you like to be dommed, but you're not happy about it. So, for example, like, all New Yorkers are power bottoms because the city is the top. You know, every day they're going out there and they're getting fucking railed, but they're pretending that they like it, you know? They like miss the train and you're like, "Oh, fuck this city," but in their head they're like, "My life is a movie." You know? They're like, "Ooh, arrest me." That's what it's like. I don't know. I'm pretty toxic. I am Latina, surprise. Yeah. Any Latinos? The Mexican guy? What's up? Mexico? Okay. I am an immigrant, but I'm a citizen. Don't worry. I moved to America when I was 7, and I grew up in a really white suburb, which is why my hoops are so small. Just kind of got whitewashed out of it. Yeah. And I was always like embarrassed about being Latina, you know, which is why I just started saying it that way, Latina. You know, now when I go to Chipotle, I'm like, can I get a taco? They're like, ma'am, we speak English here. But I always used to be embarrassed because, like, I grew up going to Colombia, which is where I'm from. Yeah, one guy. And people would always be like, why are you going to Colombia? Are your parents fucking drug lords? Yeah, I was like, I fucking wish, dude. If my parents were drug lords, I would have got my boob job for my quinceañera. Instead, I had to wait until the pandemic and use my stimulus check. Like everybody else. Don't all look at once. Uh-oh. But I did get a boob job during the pandemic. But don't worry, I wasn't like taking up space at the hospital. It was 2021, I was fully vaccinated. Whenever I tell people that I got a boob job, they do what this guy right here is doing. They look more intensely into my eyes. And he's like holding her knee for dear life. You know, he's actually looking through my soul right now, trying not to look down. Like, men try so hard not to look down once they find out that I got a boob job. And I'm like, it's okay, you can look down, that's why they're there, that's why I got them, you know? I'd rather you stare at my tits than straight in my soul, okay? Eye contact is reserved for the bedroom. Even if you have to look back at it, am I right? I don't know, I was always embarrassed about being Latina. And because, like, especially when I tell people I'm from Colombia, you know, they always act the same way. They're like, oh, Colombia? Oh, fucking, you do cocaine? You watch Narcos? I'm like, you can't say that, you know? Like, whenever I meet a white guy from Colorado, I'm not like, oh, Columbine? You know, like, I don't walk up to white families in the park like, hey, you guys watch Fox News? Yeah, I don't do that. But, like, I like being Colombian. I like being Colombian, and I like being queer, but I think Latinos, a lot of immigrants too, you know, religious people, they can be a little homophobic, you know? They can be, but I think they've gotten better, which is cool. They believe in gay men now. Patriarchy. They just don't believe in gay women, you know? They say things like, oh, she's not gay. She just hasn't had this dick. She's not gay. She just hasn't had this dick. Hey. And I'm like, Dad, you can't say that. You cannot say that. You guys have been so much fun. I'm Isa Medina.